Entrepreneurs sort out every single problem in the world.
I remember when I was 14, I was in the kitchen with my mom and she was going through Forbes and I was like, I'm gonna be there one day.
The Forbes 30 Under 30 list is the creme de la creme of entrepreneurs who are making it happen in their industry. And if you're watching this video, it's because you either want to get nominated yourself or you want to nominate someone else, or maybe you're just curious. In this video, I'm going to show you the nomination process. I'm going to walk you through it step by step, and I'm going to share my tips along the way. I'm a Forbes 30 Under 30 lister in consumer technology, and I've met some pretty amazing people who are on the list in different categories. And I will say that being on the list has been a net positive for my business, my personal brand, and my career. Because I'm on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, I'm able to network with other entrepreneurs, travel the world, speaking at events, and really elevate my personal brand as a global entrepreneur and a content creator. On my channel, I've taken you guys with me around the world, a behind the scenes look at my life as an entrepreneur and sharing my secrets on how to make the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. In this video, I want to walk you through the nomination process and share my best advice if you plan to nominate yourself or someone else. The nomination process is actually pretty simple, but I do want to share some tips with you to get you the best chance of being accepted. I'm going to link the nomination page that I'm looking at down below in the description. Before we get started, whether you're nominating yourself or nominating someone else, it's really important to read the nomination criteria and make sure you read the whole website to make sure that you're eligible and the person that you're nominating is eligible as well. The most obvious one is making sure that you're under 30 years old, and Forbes has been doing this now for over 10 years. So they have a pretty good process on how they nominate and select their listers. I would say if you're asking someone else to nominate you, you should go through the entire nomination process so you know the questions that are being asked. And then you can make a spreadsheet like I have here, and you can have all of your information there, and they can just look at this spreadsheet, or you can share with them a Google Sheet with the person that's nominating you, and it'll be so much easier for them to nominate you, and it will significantly increase the likelihood that they will actually go through the process and nominate you. I actually reached out to a number of different entrepreneurs who I knew were on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, and I filled out all this information for them and I just handed it to them, and luckily a lot of them actually did nominate me for the list. When you're on the website, it's actually pretty easy. Just hit submit nomination. You tap on start, and I'm actually going to pretend like I'm nominating my imaginary entrepreneur friend, Jim Smith, so I'm not nominating myself. So I'm gonna put in my first name, next, my last name. Are you an under 30 alum? Yes. What year did you make the list? 2020. And what region? North America. What category? Consumer technology. And my title, CEO. Well, that's not an option. Let's put co-founder. That's good enough. Company, MySwimPro. Website, myswimpro.com. My email, phone number, relationship. Okay. We're gonna put friend and nominee's first name. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this handy dandy spreadsheet that I have with all the information. I'm just gonna go through it line by line. Remember, if you are the one asking for nomination, you should go ahead and just create this sheet, and you can copy my format, just follow the questions, pretty easy. So we're gonna go Jim, okay. Nominee's last name, Smith. Date of birth, October 16, 1999. Title, founder. Name, Sheesh Enterprises. Remember, this is my imaginary friend, Jim. Give me a like if you appreciate the creativity here. Website, Sheesh Enterprises, LLC.com, LLC versus Inc., whatever. Does the nominee have a co-founder? We're gonna say no, but if they do have a co-founder, you do wanna say no. Which category? So consumer tech, that's the same nomination, same category I was in. North America, current city, New York City. Current state, New York, New York, New York. Current country, United States of America. Birth country, United States of America. Universities attended, New York University. If you have multiple universities, you list them off in comma. Email, jim@sheesh.com. Love it. Phone number, this is a made up number, guys, so don't get any fancy. 456-7890. URL, this is also made up for LinkedIn.com. Now this is all really important information because the evaluation criteria, they're just gonna go through and they're actually going to research each candidate, and LinkedIn and the website is a great way to learn. Now if there's any other links like news articles, if someone's been quoted in like Forbes or the New York Times or Wall Street Journal, or maybe they've published a book or something like that, you want to include the most impactful, relevant information as possible. Don't go on a tangent and link like their Instagram account or something like that, unless they're in the category of social media. So that might actually be relevant. But for most people, you know, linking someone's Twitter is probably not going to do any magic. But if you have a relevant link like a news article or something that really amplifies or exemplifies why this person should be on the Forbes list, that's the kind of thing that you're going to want to include. I don't have anything here because Jim is a bum and didn't give me any links. Why does this nominee belong on the Forbes 30 under 30 list? Be specific. So I made something up here. You can see in the sheet, started an app company at 16, scaled to 10 million in revenue. Let's go and type that up. Started an app company at 16, scaled to 10 million in revenue in 3 years, on pace to do 100 million in revenue in 2022. 8 years after founding. That's really impressive. What you want to do in this section is you want to list the most significant things. It's very easy to get caught up in the hustle story of, you know, worked really hard, started the company really early, you know, and I see that here, it's age 16, but unless it's really significant, you know, everyone's putting in the work. There's so many people who have that immigrant story, that are in college debt, right? You can list those things, but the most impactful is the top line revenue. It's the impact. What is something that no one else can say they've done in the category? And I will say there's not many companies that are started by someone who's a teenager or even in their 20s that are doing over $100 million in revenue, right? That's something that's really stands out, and the judges are going to look at this and they're going to see that 100 million in revenue, and they are definitely not going to overlook that. They're going to do their research, they're going to validate to see if those numbers are real, to see any other press or publications or anything from the investment community that validates that that amount of money is being generated. It doesn't have to be revenue. So if you've got a business that is maybe creating more impact, there's a lot of different ways that you can get on the list that aren't 100% tied to the scale of the revenue. Maybe you have an app that has 100 million downloads, haven't done that much revenue, or even 10 million downloads, right? That's a lot. Maybe you've raised a certain amount of capital for your business. You've impacted a certain amount of people. You've saved lives. You've done something significant. That's the kind of stuff that you want to put in this section right here. So I'm going to hit OK. Anything else you should know? The app business has saved 10,000 lives in the last 8 years. Sorry if you hear a helicopter. There's a helicopter flying over me in the background. We're here by the water, US Coast Guard. So in this section, you really want to only list something if it is that significant. As you can see here, saved 10,000 lives in the last 8 years. That's a really big statement, and if you can justify it with a little bit more detail than is listed here, that's great. But if you are asking someone to nominate you, it's so important that you just give them all of this information so they don't really have to do anything. You should just hand it to them, and all they have to do is click on the link, copy and paste all this information, and voila. So at this point, we're gonna tap OK, and Forbes is the information submitted, and if you hit continue, you're basically submitting the application. I'm not gonna submit this application because I just made this person up, and Forbes is gonna be like, what is this guy talking about? I love his YouTube videos, don't love his bogus submissions. So make sure you give it some thought, fill out all the work ahead of time, and you just hand that out to people, create a list, and really make sure you're asking people to nominate you who actually are familiar with your work. They've known you for a while. I have a lot of people that reach out to me personally, and I don't know who any of these people are. They're not filling out the form, and for me, it's really difficult to give that nomination when I don't know who you are. You came across my videos on the internet, which is great. Appreciate the love, subscribe, but at the end of the day, I don't really know anything about you. So if you want to get a head start on this, reach out on LinkedIn, connect with me, put your name on the radar, and maybe in a year or two, you might be applying for Forbes 30 Under 30. I've had a year or two to see your progress, and myself or other people who have been on the list before can actually offer you that nomination that's gonna carry some weight. But if you reach out to someone cold, it's really unlikely that they're actually gonna follow through with a nomination unless A, you give them all of this information, and B, probably most importantly, you have to actually have a relationship with the person and they can see your growth and development and they have conviction behind giving you that nomination. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm actually going to be in Detroit at the Forbes 30 Under 30 Summit. So if you're watching this and you're gonna be there in a couple of weeks, hit me up, let me know. I can't wait to see you guys. And make sure you subscribe if you're not already, because next week I'm releasing a video, day in the life of a Forbes 30 Under 30 CEO, feat New York City, not New York City here, but that video is gonna be absolutely epic, so you don't wanna miss it. Wish you guys the best, keep hustling, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.